Hi, I'm Stephen Hand from TRU Supplies. Today we're going to look at the TRU BALL Execute wrist release aid. Now this is the most expensive of the wrist release aids as far as I can tell. And someone's going to say there's a more expensive one somewhere in the world, but this is it. This is a sear release aid. So you cock the release aid like so. Notice the jaw closes, this jaw here. As you cock it, the jaw closes. Then you trigger it. Now this release aid, unlike other wrist release aids, you can adjust the travel, which is how far you press the trigger before it triggers, and the tension on the trigger. Now the way you do that is you have one button, one little screw in there, just there. There's a locking screw on the side, so you're going to undo the locking screw first, and then that screw there, that's for travel. And then this screw, you've got this screw here, this would be for tension, or the other way. No, it's that way. This screw here would be for tension on the button, which means how soft it is, and there's a locking screw on the side just there. So you've got to loosen the locking screw and then adjust there. Now if you do the adjustment too far in one way or the other, this will not work properly. Now this release aid, the TRU BALL Execute, was actually returned last week to my shop, and the customer said if he pulls it back, applies tension, and then pulls back, applies tension to the trigger a little bit, and he had a set hair trigger. If you apply tension, then you pull it back a little bit further, it locks. So we've been shooting it for 2 days and we haven't been able to reproduce that, and I'm going to do a video on this release aid now, so we'll see if it locks up. Now it comes in two models. This is the solid bar model. Now to adjust the length on this, he's actually got it set to the longest, which I find fascinating. You basically, 2 screws on the side here. I don't even know if I'll be able to shoot it on the longest. 2 screws on the side here, and you've got all the different holes here to lengthen it. To me this would be way too long for me, but I'll try it. And the second version is a strap here, so it's a like a seatbelt material. It's called a web strap, and you can adjust the tension on that. I prefer the solid. You'll notice here it's got a rotating thing, so the D loop is always square. So it's full rotation. It's very well made. It looks like that silver finish that TRU BALL use on their latest release aids, on the fulcrum and stuff. What do they call that? Silver finish. That's what it looks like, but it's a very fine finish. The strap is it's nice and soft. This is a buckle design. The other Execute is the same, so they only come in buckle, and it's either this is a solid strap, which I think we call the tornado strap, or a web strap. They sell for about $350. So let's have a shot. I'm trying out a new mic to see how it goes. Let's have a shot, and but I tell you, this is crazy long. Like, this is my first time shooting this release aid, by the way. So I just did a review on the Spark, the TruFire Spark, and I shot really well with that. So I'm really interested to see how this shoots. Now with the wrist release aid, you don't want to do this up too tight. I'm going to try it there, and we'll see how this goes. And the problem with the mic is it fell off. Let's try and get the mic fixed. I'm trying to improve the quality of the sound in these videos, so we'll see how that goes. Now who's going to be interested in a sear release aid? 3D archers, we're going to be particularly interested in this release aid. 3D at $350, you'd want to be shooting an expensive bow, I'm guessing. And let's see if I think this is worth the money. So to cock the release aid, actually I find it quite... there. Now when you draw it back with your finger behind the trigger. And once again, when you're trying your release aids, try them up close. I'm here trying at 18 meters. I've got complete brickwork behind me, so if I stuff up, I've busted a Victory VAP arrow. So let's see how we shoot. So for me, this release aid, as I said, this strap here is too long. I can barely get my finger on this little trigger. It's getting there. I want my finger around it like so. So for me, I'd want to shorten that strap. Now we've adjusted the tension on this release aid to see if we could make it jam. But obviously we didn't have much success, so my feeling of what's happening, because when you get customers complain about release aids, and seriously you get a lot of complaints about release aids, the finger's probably still pressed against the locking system. That's my gut feeling what's happening. Now, I'm based in Australia, so if I have a problem with this, I could send it back to TRU BALL, but I try and replicate the problem first before I return it, because otherwise you return it to TRU BALL and they're not going to see a problem, and basically you've just spent $50 in postage there and $50 in postage back. So how do I find the TRU BALL Execute? So to start off with, the strap is more comfortable than the cheaper straps. I shot the TRU Fire Smoke. I'm going to just make this a little bit tighter on my hand to try and get my hand a little bit over the trigger a bit more. So the strap's more comfortable. The trigger, this little thing here, the thing you put your finger on, is more comfortable. It's rounded, it's got finger stuff on there. It's much nicer trigger. Now what archers find with shooting this type of finger, you tend not to get target panic with this finger for some reason. Don't ask why, and someone's going to say, yeah, I do. But you tend not to. I don't know why that is. The release aid is clearly better made than the cheaper release aids on the market. I mean, is it worth $350? That's the question. Now, if you're a target archer and you're a top of the line shooter, then $350 is probably not a lot of money, because you probably go to tournaments and your gear's probably fairly expensive. If you're a recreational archer and just shoot once in a while, this release aid's probably not going to be in your budget. Look, I don't know how well, I can't see my arrows down the other end. I feel they're shooting really, really well. This will be the last arrow and we'll go in and see how it's performing. Now with this trigger, I think it comes with two of these little black things in different shapes, so you can try them. They're very easy to take off. There's a little Allen key under the back. It's very simple to take off. I'll just shoot one more because I'm enjoying the release aid, and I think I'm grouping okay down there. Not that I can see anything, but it takes you a while to get used to a new release aid. And this is my first shot with this release aid. It's a bit windy. Okay, let's go and see how it groups down the other end. Okay, so I'm up here at the target. This is my group of arrows. I can easily fit my fingers around the whole group. The arrows are slightly high, but that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 arrows are all touching. They're all touching. This one here is like just less than a finger width away from the rest of the group. So how does that compare? This looks funny stuck there. How does this compare to the way I normally shoot? Actually, it's probably better. That's probably the best arrows I've ever shot. So this is the TRU BALL Execute. I obviously could not replicate the problem that the customer had with this. So I'm the second person to shoot this release aid. So I suppose it'll get sent back to the customer. I think his fingers probably, when he shoots, this finger here is probably on the trigger to stop it coming off. You can see if this finger here touches this here, it won't shoot. So if this finger here is touching, if something is touching this, it will not shoot. If something is touching that, it will not shoot, and it will jam as the customer said. So I think he had something actually touching that. I'm guessing it's this finger here, because I couldn't reproduce the problem. But that's the TRU BALL Execute, and that's a pretty good end. So maybe this is far more comfortable than the $70 release aid I tried. Probably not as easy to load with this mechanism here. The trigger is definitely better. I would shorten this post down for myself. The strap's comfortable. This is something I should be looking at to shoot. This is something I should be looking at to shoot. I'm Stephen Hand from Archery Supplies. Enjoy your shooting. The more you shoot, the better you shoot. Thanks for watching. Bye.